All right, what's going on, everybody? Today, in our quick 5 to 6 minute training, we're going to go over 5 foods that destroy your hormones. All right, so all I ask is that if you get some value, if you learn something new today, make sure you like and subscribe so more people can see this stuff. And other than that, let's dive right in. So this is going to be a very quick training here today. So we're just going to go over 5 foods that are very common and how they affect our hormones and our normal functions. So number one, we got caffeine. So caffeine, so typically, as long as you're not consuming 3 to 4 plus coffees a day, like I'm sure, one, maybe 2 coffees a day is fine. But caffeine, overconsumption of caffeine is definitely going to affect your cortisol levels. It's going to raise your cortisol levels, and the more we do that, the more we're stressing that hormone. It's just terrible for us, right? Because elevated cortisol levels can lead to fat storage and a whole bunch of other problems. So we want to avoid high stress, high cortisol as much as possible. So caffeine is one of them that is going to raise your cortisol levels. Now, the next one here when it comes to this is sugars. Okay, so sugars, any kind of sugary treat, sugary food, this is terrible for us, guys, because ultimately it's going to mess with your insulin. And you do not want to be playing around with your insulin levels because, that leads to type 2 diabetes down the road. If we keep messing with it, makes our weight loss harder. It makes our body not be able to function the way it wants to function. So insulin spikes is terrible, from having high sugar amount coming in. So make sure you'll watch how much sugar you're consuming. Now, also though, sugar, if you have too much sugar over a long period of time, it's going to actually affect your hunger hormones. So your leptin, your ghrelin is not going to activate as it properly should. And that will tell you when you're full and when you're actually hungry. So you'll find that the more sugar you eat, the more that you're going to want to eat, right? It's just crazy. But sugar is very addicting. Okay, as well. So it's kind of like a very bad cycle to get into. So I would recommend just trying to stay away from sugar as much as possible. And what you'll realize too is that the more that you do cut out sugar in your life, the more that your body won't want to go back to it. Like the more that you keep getting away from like processed food, unhealthy food, the more your body's going to reject it every time that you do have it. And it's going to make it easier to stop eating it because you'll notice how much better you feel by having that salmon, the steak, the eggs, foods like that. So that's number three. That's number two. There's the sugar. The next one here is the processed foods, so like your sausages, hot dogs, meats like that. Any kind of processed food that you can imagine. It's going to affect your testosterone levels. So that's very important for men who are watching this, but also women as well. If you want to build muscle and just overall have proper hormones, it's going to affect your testosterone. And now another thing too with these processed foods, especially the meats, is that it's full of like these chemicals and it's full of like high sodium and preservatives that's going to try to preserve it, right? Some of these preservatives are terrible for your mental health and your brain health overall. There's one of them, I forget the name, it's like nitrate, or I forget the name now, but it starts with an N, and it's terrible for your mental health. Now, processed foods, though, are definitely something to watch out for as well, because it's also going to cause inflammation and a bunch of other issues as well. So we want to, of course, watch out for that there. Now, the next one here, and this is actually an interesting one, is soy. Too much soy can affect your estrogen levels. It has isoflavones, which is basically like, it's like the estrogen for a plant, basically, the easiest way to explain it for you. And these can actually affect our hormones. And now you'll notice, so some ladies who are going through menopause and in their 50s plus might take certain supplements that will have isoflavones in them to help boost your estrogen levels. But if you already have proper estrogen levels or too high and you're eating soy a good amount, that can affect you terribly. That's not good whatsoever. And in some studies, they've shown that it is linked to causing breast cancer, thyroid issues, stuff like that by having too much soy. Definitely something to watch out for. Now, the last one here is plastic water bottles. So we all know this now. This is huge on the news, is microplastics, right? What happens when microplastics go in your body, I'll keep it as simple as possible, is basically, our hormones, it's like little messengers, right? Going through our body, they're little messengers going around telling our body how we should function, what we should do. These microplastics come in and they interrupt those patterns. It interrupts the messengers. So it's going to affect all of your hormones. It's going to affect your whole body, basically, and how you function. So this is something huge because they're just coming out with this now and the proof and showing like how much plastic is actually in our food, and it's absolutely terrible for us. So plastic water bottles and just plastic containers that you're eating out of, if you heat up in the microwave, little things like that to really, really watch out for if you do want to feel at your best. Now, if you're looking to learn more, I did do a training on hormones and how we literally affect our hormones before our day even starts. It's in my previous YouTube videos below. But that's a train for today, guys. I got to hop off because I have a meeting, but I want to do this quick one for you on this Wednesday today. So 5 foods that are destroying your hormones and 5 foods that we should really honestly cut out or at least try to limit as much as possible, right? So caffeine, sugars, processed foods / meats, soy, and plastic water bottles. So that's a training for you guys today. If you want to learn more about this stuff, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm posting on there like multiple times every single day at coach.hayward. And for more trainings, just make sure you subscribe and like, and I'll see you guys on the next video.